Pazza.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to week 8 of the Ekasi Esports chess series, and I'm your host today. I am not alone. I'm with my man Sneh. How you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud.
Okay,
and clear,
loud and clear. I thought there was
I'm good.
I thought there was some more audio issues, but yeah, I think we're underway. We're a bit late today, but that doesn't mean that we won't bring you guys any more chess action. Today is week 8 of the Ekasi Esports chess series, and we are in store of some epic chess action. Next week is the playoffs. Of the chess series, so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen this week. This is the last chance for anyone who wants to participate to enter and play in the playoffs of the Ekasi Esports chess series. So that means no more 400 rands, no more 150s, no more 200s. No more 200 rands per week. We're now going to the big prize, the main grand prize of the chess series. So yeah, we're in store for some action today. What do you think?
Firstly, I think we're not just in store of some action, right? But I'm hoping for a third series of draws. We're talking about it just beforehand because I'm hoping that there's some scores to settle come the playoffs. So I'm kind of hoping that, like, today could either go one of two ways, right? Today's either, okay, like a solidification of who's really the people that we should be like, all right, this is a different echelon of players, or is it going to be still, we don't know, and the playoffs have to decide it all. So either way, it's going to be a fun day today, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, we're in store for some awesome action. And I'm looking at the player list today. We have the Chess Boy, who is who's a strong contender. He was the winner of week 6 of the chess series, right? And then we have Kithonski again, who are both the masters in this tournament for this week again. So yeah, I guess they are, one of the people who I expect to see in the finals or in the top 3 at least. We have Taps Jr., who was number 2, who placed second last week. Because what happened in the second round, the Chess Boy and Kithonski both drew their match, and that opened an opportunity for other guys to come in and take the first place spot. And there was Strider. Strider was a person who won last week's week of the chess series. But yeah, this week maybe you might expect a different result from last week. What do you think?
I think so, because I think we've only had it once that we've had a consecutive winner, right? Like back to back. So, and I doubt it's going to be a situation that repeats itself again. And even with all this super high stakes competition, we've still somehow had it be different winners every single week. And I think we're going to be continuing that trend today. I also think that the closer you get to playoffs, right, the more it starts to weigh on people's minds that, yes, you want to still be giving your all right now, but let's be honest and be real that all the people that have already qualified for the playoffs might not have their heads fully in the game here, and their minds are somewhat focused on the coming week. So I think in that case, it definitely favors those who haven't won already, right? Who have yet to really stamp their authority on another contest. So that gives you a little bit of an additional edge, knowing that your opponent is quote unquote thinking of bigger and greater things. It gives you an opportunity to, just get in there when they're not really expecting you to be the primary challenge. Especially in situations like, as you've been talking about earlier, how many draws and how many rematches we've had at especially come to like round 2, round 3. So I think in that situation, it does favor those who haven't had their day in the spotlight just yet.
No, definitely, yeah. I feel like the returning players are just here just so they could win at least, some of the cash prizes. And for y'all who don't know at home, every week of the Ekasi Esports Chess Series, we had 8 weekly leagues. So each week we had 32 participants battling it out for a spot in the playoffs. So only 8 people per week were able to only advance into the playoffs. But just to make things a bit more interesting and get things a bit more exciting and make it a bit more spicier, we gave the top 3 cash prizes. So person in first place got 400 rands in cash, the person in second place got 200 rands in cash, and the person in third place walked away with 150 rands in cash. So that makes it a bit more exciting. So, and I guess that's why some people are coming back, even though they already qualified. They just came back just so they can win some of that cash. Hey, we could always use the extra cash. I'm just saying. Plus, it's COVID time, so we always need some some extra stuff, in the wallet, just in jail. Good to win something, as you go into the week. But yeah, so this week, I wonder who's going to be taking home that cash prize, because I'm looking at the participant list, and almost like 50% of them are guys who I've already seen playing, and I already know how they play. I know their play style. I know how, I guess I can give a prediction on who's going to win this week.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Who you got? We got what 90 seconds or 70 seconds actually before we start. So who you got?
Yeah, we got like 65 seconds on the clock and counting. But I would either give it to, if the Chessboy and Kithonsky meet again, I predict it's gonna be a draw. What I said last week on the stream was, if these guys meet again, I'm just gonna fall asleep, close the stream, because I know that's the result, because I know it's gonna be a draw. So what's the point of us tuning into that match? Because we already know that they're gonna win. But if I had to give my prediction, it's either between Kithonsky or the Chessboy, because they haven't beaten each other till now. They have met in 3 separate occasions. No, was it 2 separate occasions, right? And both occasions they drew. They both mirrored their moves and they drew. So I think what's gonna happen this week is that they are gonna tie again if they meet again, and we're gonna be in store for another draw. So yeah, I'm not, but like it's either Kithonsky or the Chessboy, and if they don't win, I think it's either Taps Jr. or Lazy Cash.
I have a similar read. I place Taps Jr. slightly higher for me, but because I have this feeling that Chessboy and Kithonsky are either going to meet up or one of them might get surprise knocked out by Taps Jr. So I'm giving it to Taps this week. I think Taps Jr.'s got this. I have also a feeling that the Chessboy Kithonsky matchup might be fated for like a second to last matchup in the playoffs. So, we're gonna save that drama. This is like some anime highlight reel that can only come a little bit later.
Yeah, definitely. I actually made the same reference last time. I was like, it's like watching some anime, seeing 2 conglomerates battling each other, like some Dragon Ball Z type of stuff. When Goku battles some new powerful villain or something, and then he just goes ham. They just go ham, and then it's like the punches meet, and no one has a clear advantage. No one has the upper hand in that in that fight. So I feel like that's what happens between Kithonsky and the Chessboy. But the matches have gone underway. We're in the first round of week 8, so I guess we might as well jump into the first match. So who do we go for? Okay, we've been going for Kithonsky and the Chessboy a lot, so I want to give the other guys a chance, some time, to be on the stream. So let's check out Lazy Cash. Lazy Cash, someone who's been in the chess series since day 1. He's been here since week 1. Since week 1, he's been within the chess series, and he has never been first place. He has never been first place. When he was about to
single time.
Yeah, when he was getting good, and when it seemed like, it's time for him to at least win something, the Chessboy and Kithonsky decided to join, and he was like, I even saw his comment. He was like, oh man, that goes my chances for being first place now, because Kithonsky and the Chessboy are well-respected figures in the chess scene and in the chess community. So they are, people know them. They know that, if you meet them on the server, it's chai. It's almost chai. Maybe you might have a chance, but if it's me, if
it's
you know,
not gonna be easy.
Hey, if it was me who met them, you know what I do? Do you know what I do? I'm pretty
Resign.
sure you know,
Same time.
resign. You hit the
Immediate
resign button,
resign.
then you're done. You go on to the next. You go on to face the next best person. But yeah, the match is underway. We have Lazy Cash on the white pieces, and we got Mercy 08 on the black pieces. And I guess on first glance, both sides have fairly developed their sides. Who's this Mercy 08 still here to develop his white square bishop, but it seems like Lazy Cash has all his minor pieces on the board, and he just castled queenside, and which is interesting because Mercy 08 castled kingside, so he might go for two alternating side attacks on the board.
Yeah, it seems like actually the idea was for me Lazy Cash as well might be to just entirely overload the attack on the side. Generally, we do see the more defensive posturing with the castling, but when you do it this way, you immediately open up the dual defense on this D file here that's already being protected by the queen, and you make it a little bit easier, like you mentioned, with the minor pieces already being opened up. There is less risk of you making a move that leaves them vulnerable. So you can now start making moves here on the right side of the board without having to have any worry that a counter attack from Mercy might actually lead to you being in any kind of vulnerable position. Look how well protected this king is. Never going to be approached, never going to really be touched. So now it's going to be a question of what can Mercy 08 do to simultaneously develop pieces while not giving up defensive posturing as well. Because if you look at where his king is, right now in that little corner, how many times over the weeks have we seen that be sort of like a death trap for black side when early in the game they castle short just to try to get that defense, but as the game stretches longer and longer, you sort of forget how enclosed and ensconced you are in that corner, and it's hard to play out of it. I do like to see though from Mercy that they're sort of keeping their head right now. They're not really falling for this trap of having to play entirely on G and H. Keeping things focused, right? Because where you're strong right now is around the middle of the board as Mercy, and as well on these A and B files. So don't give up that positioning by trying to chase fruitlessly on the other side. Does mean that you still have this. I'm really worried about this king. Like, I'm really, really concerned here, if I'm honest. Like, G8 is not really a great position to be, especially when there's nothing else moved out. The pawns on F and H file are right on top of you, so there's no easy escapes. But at the same time, for now, it's not that big of an issue. I just hope that Mercy keeps in mind the need to protect that side of the board without just allowing these pawns to run amok on G and H from Lazy Cash.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like both sides are just like playing very conservatively, and one is like letting them like slip past. But yeah, it seems like Lazy Cash is going in for the kill already. But yeah, position wise, I would really give this more to Lazy Cash, as he is now has advanced more closer to the center, and it seems like he's a bit more control, has a bit more pieces attacking the center. Like we have the knight, we have the two bishops eyeing down the center, with the queen. We have the rook supporting the queen, which both queens are. I guess they're gonna get exchanged. And now, he wins the exchange. Lazy Cash just wins the exchange. Super aggressive move from him, and that gives him the piece advantage on the board.
Yeah.
So yeah, this seems to be going Lazy Cash's way already early in the game. But I'm not gonna count Mercy 08 out yet. He can come back from this position. He can really come back from this position.
Remember earlier when we were talking about these pawns on G and H, and I was worried about what Mercy would do to address this. Now that they got to get as far as they did without being challenged or contested, it's now created some problems, because we saw Mercy 8 trying to advance the black bishop here, but was forced to immediately bring it back because of just one pawn counter challenge, right? And now you're in this awkward position where you're trying to force not necessarily even a trade, right? This is just a repositioning to try to buy yourself a move or two extra, but there's not really much you can do from this, right, as Mercy 08. At the same time, you're soon going to have to make some uncomfortable decisions about what to do about these pawns on this side, which will immediately open you up to either being checked, or you're going to be giving up a bishop for seemingly nothing, or giving up bishop positioning and still not really fixing the problem of allowing your king to breathe. He's so pressed right now there in the corner, and there's very little other things you can do as well. You can't really easily move out this knight that's sitting on E8. Otherwise, the very easy pressuring from the rook just destroys your backline almost instantly. Like, this is a very rough position to be in if I'm Mercy 08, especially because the one special piece that you have that's somewhat advanced on the board, the bishop that's sitting on a6, isn't really doing all that much except for defending a pawn. But it's not a pawn that's really doing anything either, so Lazy Cash won't care. Kind of feels like where you are on the board right now for Mercy doesn't really impact anything that Lazy Cash wants to do over the next few moves. But conversely, everything that Lazy Cash wants to do, you have to respond to as Mercy. Like this response here, I feel like we're just discussing it, right? You have to make uncomfortable decisions about the bishop. There's no way that you're going into this matchup thinking that the best move for yourself 3 moves earlier is going bishop to h8, but you're forced into that position regardless. And now it stays that way because of the advancing pawn now coming out onto h6.
Oh, definitely. Like right now, what Mercy 8 is doing is playing responsively. You know, like as you mentioned, he's playing responsive chess, and that's never a position that you want to find yourself in, especially in a tournament, because you know then you're just waiting for the guy to finish you up, right? You're just waiting for him to either make a mistake or you're just waiting for the person to finish you up, and that's never a position that you ever want to be in a chess match. So yeah, I feel like this is pretty much yeah, this is really rough for Mercy. And as you can see, who's this Lazy Cash just placed his rook on the 7th rank. And one rule I always say, I feel like people are going to be able to quote me after this entire stream, after like the entire series is wrapped up, because I say the same thing a lot. You know, like if you know it's chai, resign. If you know, like placing your rooks on the 7th and 2nd rank is very powerful, because you get to control and you get to box in your opponent a bit more effectively when you have them there. So I'm speaking knowledge right now. I'm just speaking knowledge to the viewer. So even if you don't understand chess and you don't know anything about chess, just tune into the streams and also engage with us. And also just to go over the comments, I see that one of the guys tried to check in infamous edits. Unfortunately he was not able to register on time. Well, we really apologize that we weren't able to accept you on time. It's just that everything was already underway and we were just getting ready to get the matches live. But I was gonna say next time, but this is the last week of the chess series of the weekly chances.
Well, but there is still next time, because this is only season 1. So
yeah, this is season 1, so don't you fret. Don't you fret. This is season 1. There's still season 2 that might come through. I'm not promising anything. I don't want you guys to come through and be like, "Yo, perfect, you promised us another season." And I'm like, no. There's still like we're still on season 1, but maybe we might come back for a season 2. If things go if this thing pops off and becomes lit, hey. And also and someone is saying they're failing to join the tournament. Oh, Taps Junior, but we see you on the board, but we see you playing already. So Taps Junior saying that he's not able to join.
Oh gosh, yeah, I don't see Taps Junior's game here. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
What happened? Because they definitely were in, Mus.
Yeah, Taps Junior was in. Like we saw him on the playlist, and we still see him here on the playlists. I don't know. Maybe the game was closed or shut down or something. Yeah, that's pretty rough. We apologize for any difficulties, but then some of these issues are out of our hands. It has to do with the app sometimes, and sometimes if it crashes and it messes up your game, we can't really do anything on our end. I was gonna say, I'm so used to saying next time, but now unfortunately, But hey, I think Chapter is already in the playoffs, so it's fine, man. You can take a seat, you can study the other guys and watch and see what they do. For this week, and just prepare yourself for next week, because next week are the playoffs. Like I mentioned, next week is the playoffs of the chess series. So be sure to stay tuned, and also be sure to catch us on next week. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm just saying be sure you don't want to miss out on the playoffs. I'm just saying we got the top echelon players on the stream, so we got that good. We're gonna have some of that fire action on the stream. All right, so be sure to tune in next week for the playoffs, first week of the playoffs, and after that we're gonna go into the second week of the playoffs, and then we're gonna have the grand finals on the last Sunday of the month. So it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be fire.
It's gonna be super hype, man. Question that I have, actually.
What's up?
This move now that we just saw, right? So Lazy Cash went king from b2 to c1, right? Why didn't he go for the rook that's sitting on f1 and just move that rook all the way to f8? I don't believe he was. Oh, he was in check. Okay, never mind. I see.
Yeah, he was in check. Yeah, you.
Never mind.
But yeah, actually, there's an interesting result. I'm looking at the scoreboard right now of round one, and some of the matches are already concluded. We have like two more matches still happening in the background, which is, one of them is this one, Lazy Cash against Mercy 8. But then we already have the Chess Boy who played Luquisance, and Luquisance managed to get a draw from the Chess Boy. So we have one conglomerate player who's not gonna take the top spot because obviously it's only 3 rounds, so only the person who has 3 out of 3 points will probably like place first if there are no ties. But if there are ties, then we have tiebreaker points to break the tie. But we'll see how that goes. But I'm just saying that the Chess Boy might not come out first in today's tournament.
Okay, so with Taps Jr. unable to join, unfortunately, and the Chess Boy drawing, that means 2 of our predictions are messed up, and Lazy Cash is actually on the back foot right now. In the midst of us discussing all the issues that were happening, technically, there were a series of, I don't know what to call them else, but blunders that came from Lazy Cash, and now the positioning has entirely changed on the board, and Lazy Cash is really far behind. I kind of feel like Mercy, at this point, you are thinking about how many moves to mate if you're playing as Black right now. Look how many special pieces on the board. You have the double bishop, something that you absolutely love. You still have a free knight that's not really being threatened right now with this full protection coming in from this rook. And at the same time, you managed to keep it. Like, remember all that time ago, we were talking about this king. Not only were you not punished for the king's positioning, but you drew out this pawn that is now completely useless, right? This h6 pawn that's sitting here for Lazy Cash. So there's comparatively few pieces on the board that do stuff for Lazy Cash versus what Mercy is able to accomplish. And the whole script is flipped on its head right now. I kind of think like right now, if you're playing Lazy Cash, right, the degree of options you have available for you are so much fewer than what Mercy 08 has available for themselves. And it seems like it only gets worse as time goes on here.
Yeah, definitely. And look, I'm looking at the positioning right now. Like I spent some time just like trying to sort out the technical issues in the background, but looking at it just like flipped. Like everything just flipped. Mercy 8 has 2 doubled up bishops, has a knight on the board, and also has a rook, which is trouble. And right now if I was Mercy 08, I'll just be counting the moves to mate this guy and just end it now, and don't show him mercy, don't show him mercy. But
you like this move?
It feels like he's just trying to figure things out. I feel like there was a better move they could have played, something a bit more aggressive.
Like, that leaves knight completely defenseless.
Yeah,
because they were relying on this rook defense, right, to go on to e8. So by moving the bishop there, I feel like, okay, listen, Mercy living up to the name, right? Got a lifeline from Lazy Cash, so it's out here giving one back.
So he's showing him mercy because you was shown mercy in the match.
Exactly.
Oh man, nah. See, that's something that you should never do in a game of chess. You should always destroy your opponent. Always go in the mentality of destroying your opponent, because I'm not gonna get tired of saying this, but in a chess game, if you let your opponent breathe for a second, that could be your worst blunder. Right, so don't play with your food. I was told by my mom, and they never play with your food. So if you have to eat it, just eat it. You ain't got time to play with your food. And Lazy Cash, I feel like he played with his food, and now look at him now. He's in a really, really bad position. Just looking at the board, we still have another match going on. We have Kithonski against Kaltopolo. So I would like to see what's happening that side, because the match is taking a minute. And looking at this, it seems pretty tense. By the looks of it, we have I just like switched away from
Kaltopolo is running out of time though. 25 seconds left for Kaltopolo.
Oh sheesh. So, yeah.
It's actually on both games we have time issues, because Mercy is left with 47 seconds in their situation.
Hectic. And I did say that Kithonski is a very he's a blitz player, he's a very strong blitz player, and he's very fast. Look, he has 4 minutes 30 seconds while Kaltopolo only has 20 seconds on the clock. So I feel like this is going to be really, really rough for Kaltopolo, because he doesn't have as many pieces on the board as well. He only has 1 pawn, which is his lifeline, because if he loses that pawn, then Kithonski still has like 3 pawns on the board. So this is pretty rough for Kaltopolo. So in this position, this is not a winning position at all for Kaltopolo. So you know what he must do. He just lost the pawn. He only has the king left. You know what he must do. He should hit that resign button and just call it a day. No. Because it's shy. I'm not trying to be the bad guy here, right? And then so I guess he'll lose with timeout. He'll lose with a timeout here. So It's pretty rough.
So now it's all about seeing if Mercy can.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, as much as Mercy is winning this game, right, in terms of the positioning on the board,
Mm-hmm.
Mercy is losing on time. 25 seconds left versus a full 3 minutes for Lazy Cash.
And
So, yeah, I think this
Oh.
might still be a Lazy Cash dub, despite everything that's happened.
And
Lazy
it-
Cash is going to come away on
Oh,
top.
and he takes the rook.
Oh,
Nah, no
God.
mercy. You showed too much mercy, bro. You showed too much mercy.
Ah,
Oh, and he
GG.
got mated. Nah,
And
see,
he got
what I
mated.
tell you? What I tell you? Mercy was playing with his food. Now look at him. He was eating. How ironic. How ironic. So, never play with your food, ladies and gentlemen. You must eat. You must chow. You must chow at
When it's time to
all
eat, you must
times.
chow.
Yeah,
Let's
you
just go
must
all in.
chow. But it looks like Taps Jr. is in
Is
again.
it?
Yeah,
This
he's
is so
in.
weird.
This is so weird.
Alright.
But yeah, oh yeah. So now he has one match disadvantage. So will he be able to come back? Because it's still, there's still some time for him to come back. There's still some time for him
I mean,
to.
there was a draw, right? And there's still, anything can still happen.
There's a
right?
brink of
Because-
light. There's a brink of light for him at the end of the tunnel. So
Yeah.
but he loves to fight. He loves to fight. He has to make sure he gets a perfect score after this. Because there's no chance for him right now. There's
This
no
matchup though against Loquisans, Loquisans another person that's pretty much been here from the jump, from the start, and I think we've only seen, interestingly enough, despite both of these players having been so frequent, I think we've only seen this matchup once before between the two of them.
Yeah, I don't
So-
we haven't really seen Luquisans up against Taps Jr. before, which should be interesting because they've been the dark horses in this tournament for a very long time. They're not like the most powerful players, they're not the most decorated players in the tournament, but they're like the dark horse. They're like that irritation that you get, like the guy who's like, I should be able to beat you, but I will give you this guy will give me a challenge. So you should not underestimate them because if you do, you might find yourself at the back foot. And we've seen that happening in the past before, where Taps has taken down conglomerates before when we expected them to lose. And they've proven us wrong, and they've proven themselves worthy to be in the playoffs of the chess
Absolutely.
series. Yeah.
So we're gonna see how it goes here. Right now it looks very even between the two of them. Very aggressive moves from Taps Jr. though in terms of positioning, especially with that queen. I always found it very interesting when Black is the first one to move the queen into the middle of the board. And it does signal that that player is definitely going to be playing on the front foot despite being on the more defensive side, quote unquote. The way it's looking right now though, it does seem like Loquisans is able to slowly but surely control the pace of the game. Like for the most part, how much I like players that can get a lot done with very few pieces, where you can have strong positioning in the middle of the board without having to actually commit that many major pieces, but still having them provide defense from afar. Always love to see it. Looking quite effective so far. I mean, Taps Jr., I was actually about to say that I don't think there's any obvious move you can make in the middle of the board. You have to start developing on the sides here. Not really much else you can do. We'll see now what the direction is going to be, but things feeling very good for Loquisans right now.
Yeah, just looking at it, like Loquisans started off rip, just like going in for the kill. He's out for blood. And also just looking at how he has played so far, he has his knight developed. He has also that pawn which is on e5, which is going to be a thorn on Black's position. And maybe Black will try to would look to grab it and just get it out of there because it's really it's just like it prevents Black from playing any moves which control the center of the board as well. But yeah, it seems really tough for Taps Jr. because it looks like Loquisans already has an advantage. Also already has what the 2-pawn advantage.
Knight advantage.
Oh, the knight advantage. My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
yeah.
Yeah, now it looks like Loquisans is just going in just to exchange some pieces off the board, which is something that you want to do. If you have the advantage on, in a regular chess match, you just want to make sure that you get the other pieces out of the way. Just remove the clutter, just to make sure that you have a nice clean slate to work on, so that you can just like end it real quick, or not real quick, but just end it cleanly without any hiccups. So maybe the next thing that Loquisans could try doing, maybe exchanging the queens off of the board. Because the queens are another thorn on the board, because like they could turn the game upside down. You could think you're winning, you make a blunder with the queen, kaboom,
And then suddenly everything changes.
it's all
Flash
history.
of an eye, yeah.
It's all history. But yeah,
This is interesting though to see that Taps Jr. is the one that's deciding to move the queen here. I kind of feel like where the queen was, ideally for me, I would have maybe even preferred a move of moving the queen out here to c5. Like, might not put as much easy pressure on the board, but at the very least, is in a pocket that you don't have to worry about where she's going to be positioned. It's going to require like one extra move from Luquisans to actually threaten that queen, and then from there, things become a little bit easier for you. Now the queen threat is still coming, but in an area of the board that forces you to retreat and still allows the Luquisans to have a better developed knight than would have been possible if this was positioned differently. So, I'm not really sure that Taps Jr. was like that move. I don't think was going to get you anything, right? It either draws out that knight movement or drew the pawn out, neither of which would really help in the situation. So, I think Taps Jr. You know, sometimes you get into this mentality and thinking of, okay, I'm not very behind, but I'm not playing optimally. So I want to try do some aggressive things to put myself back on the board. But you sometimes don't think about whether or not that aggression is actually going to help you, or if it's just going to put you in a position where you're like, oh crap, I just have to backtrack anyway. Because now I'm looking at the board right now where this particular knight has moved to up here to c4. Like, yet again, it doesn't really do much, right? I can't really think of how Loquistans is going to be fully impacted by this. And, well, okay, I don't like this though. This is leaving the pawn that's sitting on e5 protected only by this knight, or this rook, sorry. I really like the fact that the knight was also pressuring that particular square. But, you know, I suppose you are in a situation where going for trades is acceptable. So trade has happened now.
Yeah, definitely. Now the pawn on e5 is hanging. But yeah, like I still give it to Taps, no, Luquisans. Yeah, Luquisans. Because Taps Jr. did waste a lot of time with that move, with that wasted move from the queen by moving it back into e7. So going back to chess school, you never want to make moves which are just like overly ambitious on the board, because assuming that your opponent doesn't see it, you just want to assume the best. You want to make sure that your opponent sees everything that you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to play your sneaky little tricks and hope that, oh, he's gonna make a mistake, he's gonna get a bit too. Because once you start doing that, if the person doesn't fall for it, or even like decides to do something that counters that and responds aggressively to that move, then you're now stuck. Not knowing much what to do. So now you have to go back, and now you have a wasted move, and you're giving your other opponent momentum to develop their pieces on the board, and just better develop the attack on the board. And I am not really liking that move from Taps Jr.
Taps.
What is happening to Taps this week? Because I usually expect him to be the player who plays a bit more cautiously, and not recklessly like this. So I am surprised. Maybe he's just trying to get back the points, and he's just a bit point hungry at the moment. But yeah, he still has a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, it feels like a very awkward position, right? Like, yet again, the only thing I can see coming out of this is maybe like a one-piece trade, but there's no overall positive positioning.
No.
And this,
nah, that was not the move.
This is not it.
All
right, fork time. Let's go.
Which one
Triple
do you want?
fork.
All you can eat buffet. What do you want? Do you want the rook? Do you want the queen? Do you want the other rook? Hey, choice is yours. And it went from bad to worse. Taps Jr. had at least had a decent position. I would have exchanged queens in that position, but he decides to put himself in a tougher spot than he was in initially. And yeah, that wasn't the play, my G. That was not the play. So how will the Queens respond to it? Does he see it? Because that's another thing. We can see it, but he might not see it. But thing is, if he does it, it's I won't say it's a queen. I won't say it's really a fork, because it's going to be a queen exchange, right? It's going to be a queen exchange.
I mean, you've been wanting the queen exchange anyway, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be what, queen rook exchange? That's okay. I feel like that's acceptable to, because you're going to get yourself and you get the additional pawn up in that situation. So
yeah,
I think it's acceptable. I don't mind that much.
Luquisans walks out of this, happy. He's laughing. He's happy at this point. But we didn't see that one. Oh snap!
Oh snap! Oh, it was a trap! It was a trap!
Bamboozled on stream. Hectic.
It was a trap.
We got bamboozled. Hey, well played. He bamboozled us too. So yeah, well played by Taps Jr. I counted him out, but damn, because even the advantage bar on the prediction said, that he was on the back foot. But I guess
but it swung heavily right after that one move, right? So
yeah, really swung heavily. But hey, well played by Taps Jr. I guess he's just he's different. He's built differently.
Yeah, got himself the good queen trade. This is good recovery, I think, from Luquisans. This
No,
one move
definitely.
that Taps Jr. made to A2, this is at the very least gonna open up some space and time
Mm.
for Luquisans, right? But now we're in
Oh,
that very uncomfortable kind of
wait,
game
wait,
where
wait,
one
why?
player has queen. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait,
Wait,
what happened?
wait,
Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait,
hold
whoa, whoa,
up.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wait,
Whoa,
wait,
whoa, 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 whoa.
rewind,
Luquisans.
rewind.
Hold on, hold
No, no,
on.
no, no,
Okay, we
no,
gotta
no,
go
no,
two
no.
moves back. All right, all right, all right.
Why
So
did
let's
wait?
see, let's see.
Luquisans pushed the pawn onto e6. Why did he do that?
So pawn to e6, right? After the queen goes to e2,
I think he might have hit. I think that was the move he already had prepared to play, and he didn't know. He didn't see Queen E2 coming, and then yeah, that was.
this is one of those situations where there's certain things that happen, right, that are somewhat so basic that you don't even think about it, that it somewhat slips your notice, slips your attention, right? You're not really thinking about the fact that, okay, there's a king sitting in a corner, completely isolated, queen that could just box him in by herself. It's not really coming to your attention because, honestly, how many games are you going to be seeing at this high level, right, where this situation actually plays out and actually turns into a checkmate? So I'm pretty sure the Queensons did not think about this. It's one of those just like,
Yeah.
oh god, the most stupid mistake ever. It's not even, it's less than a mistake because a mistake you're thinking about it, right? You're conscious of the fact that I was trying to do
Yeah.
one thing and something else happened. This is just, why would you ever be in this situation? No one's ever in this situation, so it doesn't come to mind. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I feel like he had just prepared that move because on the app, I think you can just like play a move. You can pre-play a move. So he had that move already prepared, and then didn't notice that there was a mate right there in the corner. But hey, GG's, man. It happens. It happens. But yeah, we have another match. We have two more matches still happening in round 2. We have Lazy Cash against the Chess Boy, and that is the match that we're currently live on. And
oh wow, hey, the Chess Boy
Lazy Cash
got Lazy Cash to resign.
Yeah, made him resign. I guess he could see that it's chai, and you know what I say? If it's chai, resign. Simple. And then we got Mercy.
What's been happening today, Perfect? Like I'm actually just thinking about how this match ended, right? And I'm also thinking about the game we just saw beforehand with Lazy Cash playing against Mercy. I have no idea how that wasn't a victory for Mercy, and I have no idea how this one right here wasn't, like, how did it get that far to the degree where Luquisans actually loses that game? I'm very confused right now. A lot is happening today, man. It's a good day.
Yeah, a lot has happened today. But looking at the leaderboard, what's been happening in the leaderboard, we have Kithonski in first. Right, he has 2 out of 2 wins, and it looks like he's gonna go home with it because there's no one else who's on 2 out of 2 wins. The closest person we have there is the Chess Boy. We got the Chess Boy.
Yeah, but okay. But
so
then
what do you
if
think
the two of them play and then the Chess Boy wins, then the Chess Boy gets 2.5. And then the Chess Boy wins, basically.
Remember what I told you? Remember what I told you before the stream. Like, if this match happens, I am not watching the match. We're watching some other match because we know it's gonna be a draw. Because these guys seem like they're too scared of each other. Like it's been, like I said, 3 occasions that they've met. They had a tiebreaker in the first time. They had a tiebreaker the first time they met, and they decided to draw. So what's gonna happen again this week? Last week they played again in the second round. They drew again. This time they might meet in the third round. What do you think is gonna happen?
Maybe they have a pact to be like, okay, fam, listen, we're not gonna go too ham, right?
Yeah, they I don't know. Maybe they did that behind the scenes. And like, yeah, let's not embarrass each other because I can embarrass you, And then yeah, it's just like, okay, now you know what? Let's not cause any drama. Let's go for a draw. But unless they just like that good at reading each other's moves, and then it's just like
the gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. But yeah, so far we have Calcio Polo on the black pieces, and we got who's this Mercy on the white pieces, and looks like Calcio Polo is not showing Mercy any mercy.
Nope. Right now, Calcio Polo is playing pretty hard. I'm very confused why Mercy did that. I kind of feel like right now, we've been talking about reactive chess a lot, and Mercy is definitely on that end of the spectrum at the moment, unfortunately, playing very reactively. A lot of these moves that we see emerging from Calcio Polo, everything has like triple cover, right? So everything's advancing forward, but at the same time, not leaving any defensive gaps at the back. For example, like if he wants to, he can advance this queen doesn't have to really worry about it, or advance the bishop to cover the rook so that there's no easy available trade for Mercy. This feels very control right now from Counterpalo. But from what we've seen today, this can change very, very quickly. So I cannot say with confidence that this is going to result in a W, even though having the queen advantage, Counterpalo is super favored to win this one out in the end.
Yeah, definitely. Anything could happen. The match is still like in its like mid stages, still in the mid game. So anything could happen. We have seen that happening. We have seen that today happening. We have seen that in the past weeks happening. So we'll never know. We'll never know. We just have to wait and see what happens and see who's gonna win. Because these guys also seem to be also oh snap. Okay, no, this is Chai. It's pretty much Chai. This is a mate. This is a mate.
It's mate in
This is
two,
a mate.
right?
Yeah, mate in two. This is forced. This is Chai. This is Chai for for Mercy. Yeah, I think you should just hit the resign button.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. All right, so there's move one. Nope, no, it's gone. It's not made into anymore. We're gonna be here for a while.
No. Yeah,
I mean, you know, it's one thing.
no, there's still a mate on board. There's still a mate on board, but we might see
But that
another.
is the mate visible though? Is the mate seen? You know?
Yeah, it's in a couple of moves. And also, you can see also with the advantage bar, it's fully black now. It's like pure black. Like we don't see any white there, so it's it's Chai. If you see it like that, it's Chai.
So it's an EFF border.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man. I guess that's the first political quote. Yeah. You got me off guard with that one.
I mean, we should just be proud that it only 8 weeks. You know, it took me 8 weeks. And only one after 8 weeks, you know.
Took you long enough. Now I'm just waiting for the Zuma one. But it's fine. But yeah,
there we go. We got our mate.
We got our mate. So yeah, and that is Chai for Calcio. So now we're heading into the last round. And what did I say is gonna happen, my G? You know,
okay, so we're gonna skip that one, right?
I might as well be a prophet at this point. I really want to see what happens. I really want to see what happens. To be honest, let's see. Keith D Chessboy playing the Queen's Gambit initially. It looks like they played the accepted line, and now they're just like developing. You see now. You see what I told you?
We see where this is going. Right.
No. Trust me, it's gonna go. You see, I told you, bro. It's
That's what I'm saying. We know where this is going. Yep.
But I just want to
Looks like
watch and hope that something's gonna change.
Nope.
Nah, it's a draw.
No, it isn't.
Again, for what? I've lost.
Straight mirror matchup, man.
And look, they try to switch up the moves a bit, and we still land up in the same position, both mirrored.
Yeah, we know where this one is going, eh?
So okay, so I guess they'll put Kitowski on 2 out of 2.5 wins.
2.5, yeah.
And I guess that just puts him ahead of everyone, because now the person who can get closest to him is the Chessboy, who will have 2 full points. Who has 2 full points? Because now we ended in a draw.
Yep, of course we did. Now,
if y'all are watching this, I'm on to y'all. But like these tendencies will stop because we're going to the playoffs next week. So I don't expect any of these shenanigans again on stream. So y'all better decide who's gonna win, because we can't have this all the time. Like if that happens in the grand finals, are you telling me you're gonna have like 10 grand final matches because none of them could like beat each other?
Basically, yeah. We're gonna have like an entire repetition, and then we're gonna have to start thinking about ways to allocate different repetition points. So, which gives you a slight advantage in your draw of repetition versus the other opponent.
Yeah, we might as well just do that. Or else we'll be here for 10 hours busy watching them trying to play a tiebreaker to break something that's like we can't break this tie. It happens again. Hey. But yeah, now on stream we got Ben Cooper Bell, who's also a returning player. I'm not sure if he has made it into the playoffs as yet.
I don't believe so. I'm not sure actually. So I think probably Ben needs this win, and he might get a bit lucky. But sadly, it looks like Taps Jr. is having some connection difficulties.
Oh yes.
Right now, time is ticking down, but it's offline at the moment.
The network seems to be rough on Taps Jr. side. Maybe that's why he wasn't able to play the first match as well. So unfortunate for him. But I guess as we wait for him, we can switch to another one. We have Emilio Carlos against Lazy Cash. So Lazy Cash might fight for this win. So at least place, because if he wins this one, looking at the leaderboard, we've got I switched to the other match, but yeah, looking at the leaderboard, right? We've got obviously Kitonski on first with 2.5 points out of 3. We got the Chess Boy on second with 2 points, and we got Taps Jr. with it seems like his match is over. What's happening here? Is he still disconnecting? Okay.
No, he's back.
Oh, he's back. Okay, cool.
Taps Jr. is back.
So yeah, so in third place we have Taps Jr. with 1 point, but he's in third place because his tiebreaker point is on 0.5, which is more than the other guys on the leaderboard. And we have Lazy Cash on fourth. So if Lazy Cash wins this one, he might, place third. So I guess he might be fighting for a third place, third placement. So it
depends on.
So at least he can get himself like something, to at least show that he was in week 8 of the chess series, and to be like, yo, at least I got some of those weekly cash prizes before I go into the playoffs. So at least you start the playoffs on a good note. You feel me?
Got those Bugattis coming in, buy some Spatlo on the day, can feel good about life.
Yeah, buy Spatlo, and then
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, I'm actually now you're making me hungry a bit, because I was going to get one, but then I was like, oh, I have to go live in a couple of minutes, but it's fine. Maybe after this one I'll go and grab myself his paddle. That's what you all call it in Pretoria, right? It's paddle. And then
it's paddle.
Yeah, this side is Ekota.
Ekota, of course.
The traditional one. No, because it's Ekota. It's the quarter of the loaf. It makes sense.
Only sometimes it's a quarter. Sometimes it has to be the half loaf. Get the double.
Oh, no. If I have to go bigger, I go for the full loaf one. Like the whole.
Okay, listen.
Yeah, go for the.
We have enough issues with cholesterol and poor diet in this country.
Remember we had listeriosis? Was it listeriosis?
Oh yeah.
I remember when they came through. I was like, no more. Come on, we can't. Nah, we had some scary situations. I thought actually COVID was gonna be one of those things where it comes in, it scares everyone, then it's gone again. But
hey, sadly, boss.
man's here to stay. He decided to bring a suitcase. Bring a warm water bottle. Decide to camp in. But hey, it's cool. It's fine. So yeah, but back to the match. We have Lazy Cash. And looks like Lazy Cash is at the advantage. He is completely destroying Emilio.
Yeah.
So yeah, he really wants that third place spot. Maybe he's listening to the stream and he's like, yo, hey, I got to give myself some of that. And looking at Taps Jr., it looks like Taps Jr. is back in the match again. I was just like double checking that. So he might be another contender to be in third place.
Right now, Taps Jr. is slightly favored because they have 0.5 of a tiebreaker point versus Lazy Cash having 0.
Yeah.
So for Taps Jr., ironically enough, this matchup could also matter for Ben Cooper Bell because they also have 1 win. If Ben Cooper wins and at the same time Lazy Cash ends up losing, then it could actually end up being tied for third with Emilio Calzapalo and Ben Cooper Bell all have an opportunity now to become tied for third, depending on their literally not just their last matchup, but the last matchups now and in their entirety. So
but I guess
still a lot of permutations that can happen.
We still have to see what happens in the third round because the other players still have to play with their other opponents, and then we shall see what happens.
This is round 3.
Yeah, like it has to finish, and then the time get updated, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think we got how many matches left? We got this match.
Okay, the Lazy Cash match just finished. Lazy Cash got the W.
Yeah, now we can jump into who's this? We got Taps Jr. We're back on Taps Jr. and Ben Cooper Bell. I'll call him Bell. Yeah, I'll call him Bell because it's a bit long. His name is a bit long. So, but yeah, we're still in the early stages of the match because we had that bit of disconnection initially. So we got Taps Jr. on the black pieces. His side is still yet to be developed. Both sides are still underdeveloped. I feel like still have to do a bit more on other side. But yeah, we shall see. I guess we can just swing onto the comments and see what y'all be saying.
So, Caltapolo just won, just to update you. So, Caltapolo just beat Lequisen. So, now, Lazy Cash and Caltapolo are tied on 2-3 apiece. So, this last one between Ben Cooper Bell and Taps Jr. actually matters the most. If Ben Cooper Bell wins, then it's a 3-way tie for third. And then if Tabs Junior wins, then it's just Chai, he's third easily, and everybody else is fourth. So
Yeah, it's rough.
a lot can happen.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the comments right now. Guess who commented? It's one of the guys, Kitonski. Yeah, Kitonski.
Hey.
Yeah, he's like, relax. He's telling me relax. You guys are gonna see the real fight next week. Double exclamation mark. So he's saying this is just a warm up. This is just a warm up. So, okay, cool. Because I'm expecting. I'm like, oh, so this is how it's gonna be the entire time. So come on, bruh. Come on. But if you guys are promising me some epic action, hey, I'm all for it. And if you guys want to also tune in into that epic action and not miss out on it, be sure to catch the chess series every Sunday at 3 p.m. That was the plug. So be sure to turn on post notifications. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, turn on post notifications to make sure that you guys are alerted when we go live. Because if you guys are not alerted, you guys are gonna miss out on the epic chess action. Right? So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you see who will take it all the way and who will win that grand prize of 5,000 rands. And this is all powered by Vodacom World. So shout out to those guys at Vodacom World for helping power this and making this happen, making this a reality. Because without them, no chess series. Maybe not, but we never know. But shout out to them either way. And if you guys also wanna get access to those awesome exclusive deals that you've been seeing advertised and all, be sure to head down to Vodacom World because they got some epic stuff there. They got some phones, they got TVs, they got consoles, they got controllers, they got everything that you want. So be sure to head down to Vodacom World in Midrand in Johannesburg. So if you're not in Johannesburg or you're not in Gauteng, it's going to be a bit rough, but you could buy a plane ticket, you could buy a bus ticket because trust me, it's going to be worth it. So just make sure you head down to Vodacom World. Moral of the story is head down to Vodacom World. I think I'm done with the plug, so we can get back to the matches. Back to the match, and yeah, it seems like both sides are playing it slow. Bell is taking his time. Time because Tabs Junior lost a lot of time due to his disconnect for a minute. And I feel like Bell should have really capitalized on that. Because that would have been the advantage that he had. Because right now, looking at both sides are pretty like no one really has a clear advantage here. Yeah, it looks like they're scared of each other. Not Basabana in this match. They don't know. Like they're both like just like standing, like that Texas Ranger type stare down. Both are like about to grab their gun and then both are about to just throw their guns. But I guess we'll see who's gonna be the first draw and because whoever draws first is gonna have the advantage.
Yeah, but it's kind of scary, right? You don't want to be the first one to also make a mistake in your attempts to be the one that draws first. So
yeah, you draw first and you drop the gun, and it's like, oh snap!
You're like, snap! This was a mistake.
This was
not the plan.
This was not the plan. This is chai for me, but yeah.
I think right now though it's looking okay for both of them. I think I'm slightly favoring Taps Junior in this situation, primarily just because I'm looking at how the defense is being constructed for this mid board. I'd rather have, it's a little bit easier to maneuver when you have these rooks that are sitting so far back with very clear lanes in front of them. The entire file is covered, makes life a little bit easier. They did have to track back with the queen here just to make sure that she's protected. It's kind of an interesting game, right? Because both queens, the last 2-3 moves that we've seen from them have been primarily running away for defense rather than playing aggressively on the board, which is not something that you usually see when you see this much queen activity early on. So interesting way that they are constructing this early portion of the game. But thus far, like you said, no clear advantage. And even though the time advantage is in favor of Ben Cooper Bell, does seem like Taps Jr. has been able to show their skill, display why they have the higher rating by bogging their game down, forcing Ryan Cooper Bell to spend so much time thinking that, look at this perfect, or pretty much back to parity in terms of the allotted time for both players.
This seems that, in terms of time difference, they seem to be evenly. The time seems to be pretty equal, almost. Obviously, there's a full minute now, but if Bell takes as long to think of making a move, it's gonna be hectic for him going down the line. He should really capitalize on the time advantage that he has, playing against Taps Junior. But also Taps Junior is also taking his sweet time, with playing some of his moves. So. Yeah, it's an interesting game. It's an interesting dynamic.
Definitely an interesting game.
So now Bell is, going for the attack, eyeing down the queen sitting there on c7 on the board. It's just like, maybe maybe trying to go for the bishop exchange. I don't know, but that bishop is already doing anything, so I don't think he stands to benefit much from the exchange.
But I guess even if you don't benefit that much from it, it's still a bishop moved. I kind of agree with you that, like, given how things looked, I would have preferred the bishop to be on f4 rather than taking the bishop away from b8. But ultimately, I think the primary worry was you never want to leave these options open with like a sneaky bishop sitting in there, a king that's sitting on a black file, and then a queen that can slip in behind onto h2. So it's one of these trades that's like, whatever. You don't gain that much from it, but you don't lose out enough to make it, to not justify it anymore, right?
Yeah.
And I think, like, given the next move, this was a really good next move, I think, to come in from Ben Cooper Bell, to move up the knight onto d2, threaten the bishop, making space potentially for the queen to get taken away, and doing this without having to threaten your own queen. So it's no trade, it's just going to be a straight up W if it does end up happening. You're always very happy with these kind of situations.
Yeah, definitely. If you're Bell right now at this point, you're very happy, and I'll take that. I don't think that was a great move from Taps Jr. because now he loses a pawn. No. Yeah, he loses a bishop in this move.
Probably loses bishop, yeah.
Yeah, because I can see what he was trying to do, trying to attack the knight, and because the bishop was pretty much in a tight spot because it was pinned, because he couldn't move it away because the queen was gonna be taken. So but now by playing that move,
at the same time though, it might not be a bishop trade, because if you end up going and taking the bishop directly, you definitely end up losing the knight, right? But it could also be a situation where they go for the alternative move to directly try and pressure the queen itself. I doubt it, but we have seen some players not really be all that interested in getting these sort of aggressive trades, but instead be more focused on developing the knight forward. We'll see. I think there's very few bad moves here for Ben Cooper Bell, right? It's like the best case scenario for him to be in this kind of situation where any move you make, like, there's nothing you can immediately do that Taps Jr. can hard punish after this. Maybe this move, though. I'm not sure about this one, because the queen can now come in, take away this knight that's sitting on d2, and just park the queen here. Seems like a fairly strong position for her to be in. I'm not sure if Taps Jr. goes for that, but I think, like, in terms of being able to take away the piece there, this is one of the moves that wasn't done with the most further cover in mind from Ben Cooper Bell, but Taps Jr. also not interested in getting further points up, more interested in just being able to make sure to get some kind of positioning for queen. I don't know about this. This should have maybe taken one move. If you're going to eat the queen, if you're going to eat the rook, fine. Or the knight, sorry, fine, do it. But if you're not going to, then don't. But I really hate these in-between moves where you do one move, realize you should have done the other one, then you end up doing the first move originally. So much time that gets wasted. And now there's still a possibility for Ben Cooper Bell to reposition this knight that's sitting on f2 in a better way without having to compromise the initial first move. So Taps Jr. kind of just wasted time for himself.
Definitely. But I'm assuming that there was something that he was planning. All right, there was something that he had planned. There was something he was cooking in the kitchen, and I guess it was a bit undercooked. And he was like, "Okay, cool. It's fine. I'll take it off the stove. Or maybe it was just like overcooked because it didn't happen. Yeah, it was just a bit too overcooked, and he was like, "Okay, I'll take it off the stove and I'll try something else." But looking at this, it is pretty even still. But I guess we see an aggressive move. I think this is the most aggressive move we've seen from Bell in this match, because he's been playing very cautiously the entire way through. I guess he's just afraid of making one mistake. And looking at this now, do you see what I see, man? Do you see?
I'm seeing what you see.
No. Oh, why did he do that? He had. Oh my God! This was his chance to.
The big fork. Big fork was.
The big fork was really gonna give him the game.
Yeah.
And wait, hold up.
No, actually, things are very different. Taps Jr. is actually gonna win this.
Nah.
I like this actually. Like, okay, the engine doesn't really like this move because I think they're reading that there's still too many options available for it. Ben Cooper Bell here, so not the best fork. Like, it doesn't gain you an obvious immediate piece, but I think the main thing that has been gained right now for Taps Junior is time. I don't think the like quick mates are available anymore from Taps against Taps Junior. So now I think you're just playing for time. I don't know about that move though. That
Same.
feels
Wait. Hold up.
bit
Do none of these
peculiar
guys
there.
see the
Okay.
fork?
Apparently not, my G.
Okay, obviously we go for a fork at that point. It's a bit late now, but Bell just really gave up the match right there. He really dropped the ball because this match was his. After that fork, hey, it's Chai. It's Chai. You resign. Taps Junior. I trust he knows the rules. You resign. It's done. You tap out. You tap out. Simple.
Tap
Easy.
out. He's got the memo.
He got the
What to
memo.
do.
I'm sure he got the memo. I'm sure he's watched some of the streams and he'd be like, okay, perfect. I hear you, man. Resign. If it's Chai, it's you resign. But looking also at the time, look at the time is ticking. Time is ticking on both sides, actually. So we might see a conclusion anytime soon. This was a full 20-minute match. This was a full 20 I didn't think we'd ever see a full 20-minute match, like from start to finish, because most of the matches we like catch them when they're about to end. But like we've been on this match like the entire way through. The others are even done. They're just like chilling.
There we go.
And now it's GG's.
Queen to
Taps Junior
F2,
wins
checkmate
it.
easy.
And we got, so in first place we've got Kithonski. In second place we got the Chess Boy, and in third place we have Lazy Cash. Back in the top three again. So I guess, hey, that's one way to end it, Lazy Cash. Shout out to you, Lazy Cash, for making it into the top three yet again. Even though it's not first place as you wanted it to be this week, but it's top three. You get to walk away with 150 rands in cash. So at least you got something. You got something. You got something that you could like at least tell home about. So yeah, I guess that wraps it up for this week, and that's it for the playoffs. And then we're just gonna see the next 32 players. No, it's 64 players next week, right? Yeah, because it's been So from next week we want to see 64 players battling it out in the playoffs for a spot in the second week of the playoffs. So what's going to happen? Those 64 players will battle it out, and then we'll only take the 32. Only half of them will go into the next round of the playoffs, and then after that we'll only take the top 4. So the number is going to drastically jump from 32 to 4 in the grand finals, which is going to be the final and last day of the chess series. It's been nice. It's hard to say goodbye. I'm already saying goodbye, but we're not even done. We're just going into the playoffs. But I'm just like thinking about that we're gonna be saying goodbye soon. It's been one hell of a ride so far, and it's been fun. So yeah, it's pretty sad.
It's sad, right? But at the same time, we also know that the best chess is yet to come, and we also know that this drawing nonsense, come hell or high water, it's gonna stop, right? Either they get knocked out by somebody else, or they're gonna be forced to actually get a W. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah, but I hope they're listening. I hope they're tuning into the stream and listening. That hey, we don't want none of them shenanigans. We want to win. We want to see who's the winner. We want to see who's the true victor. Who's the best man? May the best man win. Oh, woman. Because they have Bekra Joy, who was actually here last week. She had a tough time, but I feel like she was a bit rusty because she was absent for a couple of days. In the chess series, but I'm sure she's preparing for the playoffs, and I hope she's gonna bring her A game as well. So we got some serious. So we have a total of 3 masters in this tournament. We have Kithowski, we got Bekra, and we got the Chess Boy. So it's gonna be heated action. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be epic. So hopefully, hopefully it's gonna be some epic. Hopefully they live up to the They live up to the expectations, because hey, I'm expecting some heat, man. If I don't get fire on this set, it's not hot enough. It's not hot enough. I'm gonna buy an extinguisher this week. This week I'm gonna buy an extinguisher to make sure I put out the fire for next week and the playoffs. But yeah, shout out to y'all. And also, we were talking, Sneh. We were talking with the team. We're like, okay, these guys are winning something every week. How about we make something for the viewers, for the users? So what we did, right, with Vodacom World, we decided to sit down and we decided to come up with a giveaway. So if you guys have been following the chess, not just the chess tournaments, but if you've been following the FIFA, the Free Fire, and the chess series, then you probably know a thing or two about them. So there's a quiz that we have set up on the website, which is going to go live in a couple of minutes. It's going to go live at 5 p.m. Where you guys get to test out your knowledge of the entire tournament series hosted by Ekasi Esports and powered by Vodacom World. And if you get all those 3 answers correctly, you'll be entered into a raffle giveaway where 4 lucky winners will be drawn, and each winner will win. Wait for it. Will win 5,000 rands in Woolworths vouchers. You get to go to Woolies.
Love to see it.
Get some of that Woolies water. We're going to bring back get some of that Woolies water. So be sure to enter. Be sure to enter. Go to the Ekasi Esports website. Be sure to be tuning into the Ekasi Esports socials to find out and just to get more instructions on how to enter and how to play. But it's pretty straightforward. Answer the questions, hit enter, and then you should be in. And then if you get all those questions correct, you have a chance to win yourself a voucher from Woolworths. Shout out to Vodacom World for this giveaway. And yeah, so that was the little plug. And yeah, be sure, like I said, be sure to subscribe, like, share the video. Follow us on all the social media platforms, at Ekasi Esports, all over the place. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We don't have a Tinder yet, but we'll look to set that up. But be sure to watch the space. But be sure to follow us and show us some love. Comment, say something. Tag us in your posts and all that. And also just DM us if you want to say hi, and we'll try to get back to you guys. We have a big inbox, so we'll try to get back to you. Even though it takes us a couple of days or an hour, a couple of hours. You never know, you might be lucky. Just DM us, and then we'll be sure to get back to your text eventually. But yeah, so you can follow me on social media platforms, but if you want to, you can show me some love there. It's at Perfect Kanpeki on Instagram, and it's Kanpeki Perfect on Twitter. And also, I guess you can plug yourself, Sneh, as well.
So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's R1HLMVU. Terrible for Twitter, Instagram name. On Twitter, it's Snaregradamus. And then on Twitch, check me out at Snare And you can also check me out on YouTube at Curve Thought, where there's a lot of things that are coming up this week on that site. So make sure to go check it out.
Yeah, we got some Dota stuff. I call you Mr. Dota. Yeah, Mr. Dota himself. Be sure, if you guys are a fan of Dota or you're into Dota, be sure to check him out. I've checked out some of his stuff. I'm not much into Dota. I'm more for first-person shooter like your Counter-Strike, some Apex Legends there. But I do check out the Dota stuff here and there. And the person I go to is obviously the Curve Thought. That's where I get my daily dose of Dota knowledge. So be sure to follow Snaregradamus there on YouTube as well. But yeah, I think that's been it. Shout out to y'all. And like you see these deals here. You see that one day? Yeah, that ad there. You see that one of the router and the laptop. If you want to get your hands on that, be sure to visit Vodacom World at Midrand in Johannesburg. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it on my end. Do you have anything to say, Sneh?
I have to say, practice your chess. Get good at it. Get hype. As you can see, there's money, there's views, there's hype in this. So let's make sure that this doesn't just stay. Make sure that there's a reason beyond just a hobby thing, but it must excite you. Chess is fun, so get involved.
Yeah, definitely. Be sure to practice. Practice from Monday, from tonight. Start practicing. Read up books. I don't know. Do push-ups. Do whatever it takes to get you the advantage in next week's playoffs. And yeah, I guess we can wrap it up here. So from me, from the team, from Sneh, from everybody, this is us signing out. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.